A former Trump administration insider just revealed what's really happening inside the White House, and it's far worse than what we're seeing in public. Her name is Olivia Troy. She served as the Homeland Security and Counterterrorism advisor to Mike Pence. She was on the coronavirus task force. She worked in the Pentagon under George W. Bush. She was inside the room where the big decisions were made, and she left before January 6th because she saw where things were heading. Now she's breaking her silence, and what she's saying is alarming. Let's start with Stephen Miller. He's the architect of the ICE raids, the author of the immigrant crackdowns. Troy says his public demeanor and private behavior are identical. When you see him get angry on TV and turn red and start lecturing, that's exactly how he acts in cabinet meetings. He talks down to people much more senior than him. He berates them. He uses racist tropes casually in professional settings, in meetings with the president. But here's the thing that matters. In Trump's first term, he had opposition, people like Jim Mattis and Mark Esper who would push back. They'd tell Miller no, they'd explain the implications. They had the credibility to stand up to him. But now, Miller is the central architect. He has Trump's ear, and there's nobody around to keep him in check. The adults in the room are gone. The crazies are still there. Troy talks about how Miller operates. He's not just an advisor making suggestions, he's directing policy. He's deciding who gets hired, who gets fired, what gets investigated. And Trump trusts him completely because Miller has been loyal since day one. Loyalty is what matters to Trump, not competence, not character, loyalty. And then there's Russ Vought. He's the head of the Office of Management and Budget. Troy worked against him in the first administration on Puerto Rico disaster relief after Hurricane Maria. Vought wanted to slow down billions of dollars in aid to people who just lost everything. She describes him as quiet, more quiet than Miller, but just as extreme. He has views on white nationalism, on Christian nationalism, on transforming America into something unrecognizable. And he knows exactly where the levers are in federal government. He knows every line of the budget. He knows how to pull the strings. The first time around, they were still learning, but now they've had years to plan. They've implemented Project 2025, and they're executing at great speed. And there's another reason they're more dangerous now. They have loyalists throughout the entire apparatus. In the first administration, there were people who could push back, career professionals, people with integrity. Now, the majority are complete loyalists, people who will surpass the rule of law, who won't care about consequences. Troy mentioned something deeply concerning, the attempt to bully Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve, and the talk about Kevin Hassett potentially replacing him. Hassett manipulated economic data during COVID to downplay the crisis. He wanted to underplay the economic impacts because Trump was up for re-election. Troy discovered that they were changing graphs, changing data presented to Pence. She was so angry she confronted people about it, but she was up against a much bigger political machine. There was nothing she could do. Now she's watching them do it again, with the Fed, with economic data, with statistics. And she's worried they'll manipulate information to serve Trump's interests, whatever those interests happen to be. She also talks about meetings where they wanted to rewrite EPA reports, environmental science that didn't fit their narrative. There were discussions about firing scientists, replacing entire boards, rewriting the facts. And Troy, a career intelligence officer, is sitting in the room thinking this is insane. That's not how science works. That's not how facts work. But they didn't care. They wanted the information to say what Trump wanted it to say. During COVID, there were similar attempts to manipulate health information, to control what doctors could say, to shape the narrative around the pandemic.
Troy warned about all of this. She warned what would happen if Trump returned to power, because she lived through it. She saw the pattern. She understood how it would escalate. And now it's happening again. But this time, they're better prepared. They have loyalists in place. They understand the machinery. They're moving faster. Trump doesn't view the presidency as running a country. He views it as a business, as his business. The military is his tool. The Justice Department is his tool. The FBI is his tool. The federal government is his tool. Everything is relative to his interests. The truth is whatever serves him in the moment. And that's why the White House is imploding right now. It's not just the Minneapolis situation creating chaos. It's that the entire system is now oriented toward Trump's personal interests, not the country's, Trump's. Troy talks about how Trump operates in meetings. He's charming, he uses humor, he disarms people, and then he proposes things that are completely insane. But because people are laughing, because the room is relaxed, they go along with it. She says she watched herself get drawn in. She'd be laughing at something Trump said, and then she'd realize what he was actually proposing, and she'd have to leave the room. Because if you don't, you get sucked in, and that's the point. That's exactly what he wants. He's a showman, a manipulator. He figures out where people's weaknesses are and exploits them. He knows what he's doing. He's good at it. Troy also describes his vindictiveness. She never saw him throw things, but she heard he does. She saw him dictate orders about who should be fired, who should be called, what should be said in media. He'd task people around the room saying, who's going to take care of this person? Who's going to call Fox News and tell them what to say?
He was essentially writing Fox News scripts, directing what they should broadcast, what they should criticize. And now many of those Fox personalities are in the administration, as cabinet secretaries, as officials, as his people inside government. Troy also addresses the question of Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. In the first administration, they sometimes served as voices of reason, trying to get Trump to understand things, trying to explain consequences. On child separation, on immigration concerns, they would push back. But now, they're part of the circle of complete loyalty. They support Miller. They support the agenda. They're aligned with it all. The corruption is so blatant now, the loyalty so absolute, that there's no room for disagreement. And Troy talks about Trump's current state. She says he doesn't seem well. He loses his train of thought. His memory isn't what it was. He rambles. He repeats himself. She talks to others who were there in the first administration, people she still knows, and they all think the same thing. There's something different about him, something that seems off. She watched his recent press conference, his first cabinet meeting, and she noticed he felt compelled to address things that had been said about him online. He mentioned TikTok videos. He addressed claims about him blinking and sleeping. He tried to make jokes about it, to disarm the room. And it worked. The cabinet was laughing, the press was laughing. That's his trick. Make people laugh, disarm the room, then slip in the insane policy. But what concerns Troy is what's actually being proposed, the actual policies, the actual agenda. Because behind the humor, behind the charm, behind the jokes, real things are happening. Communities are being terrorized, data is being manipulated, facts are being rewritten.
And the people doing it are completely loyal to Trump. They believe in the agenda. They're not going to push back. So you have a situation where the president is potentially cognitively declining, where he surrounds himself with ideologues who have no checks on their power, where the entire apparatus has been stacked with loyalists, where career professionals have been replaced with true believers. And the scary part is they know how it works now. They've been planning this for years. Project 2025 laid it all out. They know which levers to pull, which scientists to fire, which data to manipulate, which policies will terrify which communities, and they're executing the plan with alarming speed. Troy's testimony is important because she's not some partisan activist. She's a career national security professional who tried to do the right thing. She saw what was happening in the first administration and left, and now she's watching it happen again, but worse. Because the safeguards are gone, the checks are gone, the people with integrity who might push back, they're gone. What remains is a circle of complete loyalty, an apparatus devoted entirely to Trump's interests, and a president who views everything as his to control. That's the reality inside the White House right now. Not the public-facing speeches, not the official statements, but the actual reality of how decisions are being made.
and the consequences are real for the communities being targeted, for the data being manipulated, for the institutions being corrupted. Troy is warning us because she's seen this before. She understands how it escalates, she knows where it leads, and she's asking us to pay attention because while we're focused on the public meltdowns, the real work is happening behind closed doors.